So I joined a meditation class a few years ago. It was held in a quiet room every Sunday morning. Our teacher, Jamie, would lead the class for an hour. About half that time was discussion with time for questions. And at the end, we would say namaste, which means the divine in me sees and recognizes the divine in you. But for most of the time, we just sat cross legged on the cushion, eyes closed. The only thing we had to do was focus on our breath as it moved in and out. If you notice the thought, drop it, go back to the breath. In, out, in, out. And guess what? This turned out to be really, really hard. Trying to sit still on a cushion for an entire half hour. Don't scratch that itch. Hey, I think I left my keys in the car. Maybe it was the front room. I really got to make some progress on my to-do list. Yesterday, when I had that fight with my boss, I should have. Nope, back to the breath. But the thoughts kept coming. Sometimes I'd realize with a shock that I'd forgotten my breath entirely and I'd gone away somewhere on this long trail of thoughts. And what is the point of this? And where is that fucking inner peace this is supposed to be bringing me? And then one day, Jamie said this amazing thing. He said, every time you notice yourself having thoughts, instead of focusing on your breath, you're going to think you failed at meditation. But that is exactly the moment you've succeeded, the moment that you notice your thoughts and you drop them. See, it turns out that the object of meditation is not inner peace after all. The object is to start noticing your thoughts, how they're actually like a broken record or an endless tape loop, often pretty negative. I need more of this. I got to get away from that. I'm so anxious. I'm so bored. It's those other people's fault. It's not like I'm ever going to be able to stop having those thoughts. Good luck with that. But, as I began to notice them and drop them over and over, a really interesting gap started to open up between my unskillful thoughts and me, the observer of all that thinking. And I began to see my thinking like waves on a choppy sea, like this churning surface, my reaction to what's happening, my endless rehashing of the past or rehearsing for the future. But down under that, way down deep, I realized there was another part of me, calm, undisturbed, peaceful. And from this calm, undisturbed place, I could stop and observe. And that's what they call mindfulness, staying in the present moment and simply watching with patient curiosity, noticing things I'd never really seen before from this place of incredible freedom and peace. So, one time the Dalai Lama went to Manhattan and 200,000 people came to hear him speak. And a reporter asked him, hey, what do you think of New York City? Meaning the crowds, the noise, the chaos. And the Dalai Lama smiled and he said, yeah, I find it a very peaceful place. And now in the fourth month of a worldwide pandemic, it's literally true. New York actually is a very peaceful place. The world has slowed down. Like Jamie's students on the cushions, we're all being forced to sit still. And guess what? It's really hard. But like Matt kind of pointed out, with all this calming down, the result is a kind of unexpected mindfulness. As we've been separating from constant thoughts and activity with a future we can't predict, maybe we're starting to notice things we never really saw before because we never had the opportunity before. For one thing, with all of our activity slowing down, you've probably heard that the Earth itself is starting to heal. Seismic activity is down, noise in the ocean that disrupts sea life is down, emissions are down by 20%, carbon dioxide is down 40%. The difference can actually be seen from space. And all that pollution is the byproduct of economic systems that really don't work so well. I mean, yeah, they work great for what they're built for, our insatiable greed, but they're working better for some of us than others. And maybe we're starting to see that when you harm some of us, you're really harming all of us. And because any one of us can get or transmit COVID-19, we're seeing that our boundaries and borders are meaningless. So the politics of blaming some people, scapegoating and shutting them out, maybe we can see that for what it is, an old negative tape loop that we can stop listening to. Closer to home, I'm noticing my own habits. I would like to tell you that I have spent this quarantine reading great literature, working out, and detoxing. But in fact, my ego seems to want coffee, chips, and beer. And I notice very often it gets what it wants. So I'm working on that. One thing I've really been noticing is how much I need other people, how sweet it is just to hear someone's voice, look into their eyes. I'm in a men's group, and when we had our very first Zoom meeting and all those other faces popped up, we just sat there grinning to each other. And I'm also realizing how much beauty is all around. Only I wasn't seeing it because I was, busy. This is a picture of the gardenia tree in my own front yard, right next to the driveway. I never stopped to look at it before. I mean, really look at it. And now I feel like I could stare at it for hours. So there are benefits to this quarantine. And sometimes I worry that when it's all over, we'll forget and go back to how it used to be. But there's something I learned from meditation. Once you've seen the light, you actually can't go back to your old ways of reacting. It's actually not possible to become less enlightened. So when we do come back together, so grateful to touch and reconnect and see each other in person. I'm hoping the insights we've gained during this time will help us help each other to start creating a better, kinder, saner, more mindful world. Namaste.